And ladies and gentlemen, good afternoon. We are live. Game 2 of our afternoon non-conference doubleheader. The visiting Blazers from Valdosta State University taking on your Georgia Southwestern State University Lady Hurricanes. Game 1 of our double dip was a pitcher's duel. All runs scored in the first inning of that one. A 2-run homer from Brandy Morgan, the difference. Again, all the runs scored in the 2-1 GSW loss scored in the first inning of the game. Pitcher settled in, worked out of a few jams, and did outstanding work to move right along through our opening game with the win. Valdosta State in the opener improved their record to 18-7, so that's where they stand coming into this ball game you're watching now. GSW 10-12 overall. Couple of defensive changes for GSW here in game number 2. Run that by you really quick. Ansley Dean, the pitcher, leads off with a walk. So Jessica Mole takes first base. Batting second is the center fielder, number 5, Taylor Hartenbach. Hartenbach 1 for 2 in the opener here today. That pitch in there from Dean. If you're just joining us, the leadoff batter reached base by way of a walk. And we're at the number 2 hitter in the lineup and in the ball game. That one fouled off. 0-2. Ansley Dean now out in front. Don't forget, fans, if you're watching on our YouTube station and you want to have those numbers and stats in front of you of what's happening, just open up another browser in your window, and the link, or you can open up another window in your browser by clicking on the link in the description of today's YouTube broadcast. Popped up in the infield. The third baseman's going to have it, I believe. Yep, it'll be Tierce making the out. One away, first out of the ball game for Dean and the Lady Hurricanes here, just underway. Game 2 of our afternoon doubleheader. Batting third is the left fielder, number 22, Brandy Morgan. And Morgan did all the damage the Blazers needed in the opener. She delivered the home run to left field. Thought about leaving, but Kersey will get it down in time to hold the runner as that ball kind of scooted past her and into foul territory. 0-1 count to Morgan. Morgan finished the opener with that being her only hit, but that's the one that was the difference. 1 for 4 in the first game today. Now to face Dean. Misses outside, 1-1. Again, Valdosta State 18-7 overall now. Georgia Southwestern 10-12. The Lady Hurricanes trying to snap a 4-game losing skid. Valdosta State, a rare 3-game skid of their own, was snapped with their win in the opener here today. Runner goes, throws off the mark, and in the good speed and a good jump, plenty of time. Stolen base. So Mold's down at second. The count 3-1 to Morgan. Dean with the pitch. In there for a strike. She'll have to take a step back into the box as Morgan was almost leaning towards making her way down to first base with the walk. She'll have to take another look at a pitch. 3-2. The count. Ground ball to the left side. Tierce will look back the runner and throw over to first for the second out of the inning. So I mentioned there were some defensive changes for Georgia Southwestern in here in game number 2, and that's one of them. Haley Tierce, who played shortstop in the opener, has slid over to third base, which isn't too uncommon when Shannon Gibson is not pitching. She was the pitcher in game number 1. Did a great job in the circle. Came up on the short end of the stick in the ball game. So Gibson will go back and play short in game number 2. And now taking the hill will be the left fielder in game 1, Ansley Dean. Foul back towards our press box area. 2 outs in the inning. 0-1 count, the batter. Right fielder number 8, Cassie Cornelius. Another defensive change. Cassidy Burton, who was playing third base in the opener, is now the Lady Hurricanes catcher. So the freshman is catching here in game number 2. And moving from the catching position to left field is Michaela Barlow. So the left side of the defense is completely different and moved around from our opening ball game here. And they've stayed busy. A couple of ground balls to Tierce out of the chute. 2 balls and a strike, the count to Cornelius. Cornelius 1 for 3 in the opener. That one will miss. Perhaps low and inside, 3-1. So you got Barlow in left. Chloe Zeller in center field. Right fielder's Elizabeth Wills. Tierce at short. Tierce at third. Gibson at short. Grayson Sanders at second. Pulled foul, out of play. Hit it a mile high, but out of play. Grayson Sanders again at second. First baseman is Lauren Kersey. Get it right. Behind the plate, Burton, and the starting pitcher in game number 2 for GSW, freshman Ansley Dean. 3-2 count. Foul back up over our heads and above your camera view. Back behind the building. Count's going to stay full. Ansley Dean, a 5'4" freshman from Madison, Georgia, Morgan County High School, comes into today's game, making her 3rd start. Fouled again, straight backs. Fighting to stay alive is the cleanup hitter, Cornelius for Valdosta State. Ansley Dean, 3rd start, her 9th appearance overall, 21 1/3 innings pitched, 28 hits, 23 earned runs, 18 walks, 20 strikeouts, an 0-3 record, and a 7.55 ERA. This is either the 3rd or 4th. 3-2 pitch, pull foul. We'll do it again. This will be the 10th pitch of the at-bat. Opponents are batting .333 against Dean this season. High fly ball, left center field. It'll be the left fielder Barlow making the catch. And Dean is able to set the Blazers down without a run in the first. So this game off to a different start than our opener. No runs for Valdosta State in the first inning. We'll head back. Lady Canes come in to grab the sticks for the first time this afternoon in game 2 anyway. We'll be back in a moment here on the Surge Sports Network. Thanks for tuning in. So left fielder Michaela Barlow. She ended that top half of the inning with a grab out and left, and now she'll lead off the ball game for Lady Canes at the plate. Starting pitcher for Valdosta State in game number 2 is number 23, Catherine Carter. Catherine Carter, 5'9" sophomore from Hinesville, Georgia, Liberty County High School. Carter is making her 13th appearance and her 11th start of 2018. 3 complete games, 63 innings pitched, leads the Blazers by a good bit in that category. This is in the gap in left center field. Barlow started the last game off with a double, and she'll start off this ball game with a double. Two-bagger for Michaela Barlow to open up game number 2. Barlow comes in after our opener. Her average sitting now at 322. At the plate is the pitcher, number 16, Ansley Dean. Dean with the bunt. She's able to get out of the way of it, and they'll throw down to the second baseman covering the bag for the sacrifice, moving over Barlow into scoring, even closer into scoring position, nudging her tighter to the home plate area. Now at third is Barlow. The batter is the third baseman, number 22, Haley Tierce. Tierce, 290 batting average. And my up-to-date stats now coming through. You'll see her stats as she comes into play today. Finish off on your introduction to Catherine Carter. Carter with a 5-2 record and a team-leading 2.44 earned run average. Opponents are batting .277 against her. Actually, opponents have a lower batting average against Johnson, but both of those pitchers in the 2s ERA. Ground ball to third. She'll look the runner back and throw over to first. Nice play. Playing in right down the line, that ground ball. And a good play over there at third by Mole. At the plate, batting fourth, first baseman number 20, Lauren Kersey. So Kersey steps in. She is batting .308 after our first game. Stats now in the books. Kersey, 5'9" freshman from LaGrange, Georgia, LaGrange High School. Takes a ball to open up this at-bat. Find a way to get that run home. Barlow with a leadoff double. It'd be a shame to see her get stranded over at third. Lady Canes know the runs are hard to come by against this Blazers defense, as was evident in the opener. That 2-1 final score off the plate for a ball, 2-1. So Coach Levering puts this one's going to be a 2-bouncer to third. She'll throw over to first for the out. And in fact, Barlow will have to head back to the dugout after making it all the way to third base. She's left stranded at third. No runs for the Lady Hurricanes in the first. They have the only hit of the ball game, and that came from Barlow, but she's stranded. No runs in the first, no runs in the ball game. We'll be back in a moment. Game 2 of our afternoon non-conference doubleheader from Lady Canes Field. Thanks for tuning in on a cool but beautiful afternoon for a ball game. You can see the flag out in center is barely moving. Just a slightest of cool breeze to kind of keep the air cool, but the sun's been warm. I'm sure it'll cool off as we get going Temperatures were in the upper 50s in game one. Still not a cloud in the sky. Beautiful blue skies. And now the weather showing us the temperature currently. Oh, it's warmed up to a balmy 61. So 61 degrees at the start of game number 2. We'll be back in a moment here on the Surge Sports Network. First pitch to the leadoff batter for Valdosta State, Logan Hill, was a ball. Second pitch of the at-bat hits her in the upper left shoulder. So Hill will trot down to first base. Leadoff batter aboard rather, for the Blazers in the second. Hill's at first. Now batting is the catcher, number 3, Lacey Crandall. Bunt down. Dean has it. She'll throw over to Sanders, the second baseman, covering the bag for the first out. Sacrifice executed. And Hill will wind up at second base. One away in the inning now. Shortstop, number 17, Tana McDaniel. In there for a strike. It's a little bit off of that one. Out in front, but fouled over the Valdosta State dugout on the first base side. And Dean's out in front, 0-2. Fly ball to center field. Zeller moving in to her left, makes the grab. Second out of the inning. Designated player number 6, Heather Robinson. Robinson steps in. Robinson, the number 8 hitter, in the lineup for Valdosta State in game number 2. Rock backs and throws. Dean's pitch up in the zone, ball 1. Goes up after that one, got a piece of it, runner will have to go back. Fly ball to deep center field. That one's going to go over the bleachers. High, deep, and gone. A home run to center field. The bleachers out there just to the left of the foul pole, or flag pole rather, from your vantage point, and that one cleared the bleachers over there in left center field. And a home run. That's been the Achilles heel of the Lady Hurricanes pitching staff in this one. A home run for Robinson. 2-run shot, as was the home run the Blazers hit in the first game. So another 2-run homer strikes, and this time it's Robinson that delivers. First hit of the ball game for Valdosta State, and they now lead 2-0 here in the second. Second baseman, number 20, Danielle Patterson. For Robinson, that will be her 4th home run. 4th home run of the year, RBIs 11 and 12. Foul back to the screen. In the opener, Patterson was 0 for 3. She came into the day batting .311. Foul back to the screen. And they're going to call Robinson out for being out of the box when she made contact with that pitch. That's the second time the Blazers have been called out here today. Coach looking for the mark. And the Blazers will have to head back to the dugout and grab their gloves. Bottom of the second inning coming up here from Lady Canes Field. Georgia Southwestern finds themselves in another 2-0 hole. Let's see if they can respond like they did in the game one, at least by getting at least one of the runs back. We got to do it in the bottom of the second. We'll be back in a moment here from Lady Canes Field. Thanks for tuning in to GSW Softball on the Surge Sports Network. Freshman Elizabeth Wills opens up the Lady Hurricanes' second inning. First pitch a strike, second pitch rather a ball. Count evened up at 1-1. Big cut, swing and a miss. 1 ball, 2 strikes. Wills' current batting average at .310. And she'll go down on strikes. Kind of at the plate is the catcher, number 1, Cassidy Burton. So Burton in there for a strike. Burton in the opener. 1 for 3. She doubled late in the game to give the Lady Hurricanes a little life and a chance to, I think they may have had an opportunity to tie things up, but wasn't the case as Casey Johnson, the pitcher for Valdosta State, worked her way out of the late inning hole and kept the Lady Hurricanes stuck at the 1 run, which is where they finished off. 1 ball, 2 strikes to Burton. Swing and a miss. 2 batters up. 2 strikeouts for Carter here in the second. Now batting is the shortstop, number 14, Shannon Gibson. Gibson was 0 for 3 in the opener. This one's a line drive. Going to one hop to the center fielder. So a 2-out single from the Lady Hurricanes shortstop here in game 2. And Gibson delivers a single. Got a runner aboard, 2 outs in the inning. At the plate is the designated player, number 5, Brittany Childs. Childs came on in a pinch hitting role in the final inning of the last ball game. She's most often used as a pitcher. Childs has made 7 starts for GSW inside the circle. Pitched in 9 games so far, 34 innings. Was second on the team to Madison Messer. But in this contest, she's going to, at least for now, she's going to fill the role of the designated player. She's down 0-2. Carter's already got 2 strikeouts in the inning. She'll have to throw another pitch to Childs, however, 1-2. Swing and a miss. Strikeout number 3. So big inning for Carter in the circle. She takes care of business on her own. That's her 3rd strikeout of the game. They're all coming here in the 2nd inning. Lady Hurricanes leave Gibson. Leave Gibson over at first base. Lady Hurricanes have 2 hits in the ball game, but no runs yet to show for it. Valdosta State, 2 runs on a home run. Their only hit of the ball game, but they lead 2-0. We'll be back for the 3rd inning in just a moment here on the Surge Sports Network. Third baseman Jessica Mole to lead off for the Blazers here in the 3rd. First pitch taken for a ball. Mole walked her first time up to open up the ball game. And she'll look at 2 pitches from Dean that missed the mark. Quick trip to the circle. This one will just be assistant coach Kara Law along with Burton. She has a word with her starting pitcher, Kara Law, also new to the staff. All everybody's new. Nikki Levering in her first season. Fresh group of faces on the coaching staff, including Coach Law. 2-0 count coming up here to the leadoff batter, but also the top of the order for Valdosta State. Mole coming into the action today prior to the start of play this afternoon. 487 leading batting average on the Blazers roster. 487, and she has started every game. 12 doubles, 4 triples, 3 home runs, 21 RBIs, 859 slugging percentage, 17 stolen bases, and she showed good speed in the opener. This will not be an easy play. The bunt with a little pace on it gives Tierce enough time to throw down to first for the out. Look at the speedy leadoff hitter for Valdosta State. 1 out in the inning. Center fielder Taylor Hartenbach. Hartenbach 0 for 1 in this ball game. She was 1 for 2 in the opener. If you are just tuning in or didn't catch the broadcast of our first game, I mentioned towards the end that this is a series completely stacked to the side of Valdosta State. 2 balls, no strikes, 1 out. Since turning NCAA Division II in 2006-07 school year, these two teams have met now 27 times, all of which have been won by Valdosta State. 0-27 against the Blazers, but all 3 games this year, as these two teams met earlier in the season for 2 in Valdosta, where the Blazers needed walk-offs, including 1 in the 8th inning, extra innings in the opener, to get the win. All the games have been 1-run games this season. Lady Hurricanes just can't break through, and they trail now 2-0 in this one. Another quick meeting. They'll break this up a little faster here, as the Lady Canes have already had 1 meeting. Left fielder Brandy Morgan. 1 out in the inning. Brandy Morgan, the batter. Runner at first now for Valdosta State. Off the plate, ball 1. Off the end of the bat, foul. It'll roll up the first base line, but stay out of play. Wind swirling around now. It looks like it's blowing out to center field. That ball stays up in the zone. 2-1. Already a fairly short porch. Hitters can get one up in the breeze today, and that in game 2 here, if the wind continues to blow at this pace, we may not be done seeing the long ball today. Definitely a very hitter-friendly ballpark. The wind is in their favor as well, of course. This one popped up, however, in the infield, and Gibson will have it for the second out of the inning. Cleanup hitter Right fielder, Cassie Cornelius. Cornelius 1 for 3 in the opener. Pitch high. 5'8" freshman from Adel, Georgia. Cook High School. Popped up behind home plate and out of play. 1-1. Pretty good spot for Cornelius to come in, be the cleanup hitter as a freshman. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. 6 seniors on the Valdosta State roster. Swing and a miss. 1-2 now. 8 let's start with the freshmen. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. 7 freshmen, 8 sophomores. Only 1 junior. And that was the starting pitcher of game 1. Transferring in from Savannah State. Casey Johnson. Reaches for this one and stays alive. Good at bat, good piece of hitting for Cornelius as he fights to stay alive. 1-2 the count. This one down the left field line. Plenty of room and in fair territory. Barlow will make the catch. Just on the fair side of the line to end the inning. So no runs for Valdosta State in the third. Still only 1 hit for the Blazers in the ball game. But a 2-run lead, 2-0. Valdosta State will be back for the bottom of the third inning here from Lady Canes Field. You're watching GSW softball on the Surge Sports Network. Center fielder Chloe Zeller, the number 9 hitter in the lineup here in game 2 to lead things off for Georgia Southwestern. You see there, you saw over the break between innings as she slaps this one. Ooh, hard hit ball, but the first baseman, glove on the dirt, makes the play, steps on the bag. Zeller with a good piece of it, but a good defensive effort from Hall over at first base. Excuse me, Hill over at first base. And 1 up, 1 down. Back to the top of the order for the Lady Hurricanes. Left fielder Michaela Barlow. That one a little bit low and inside. Our next broadcast on the Surge Sports Network, you just saw it there between innings, be our Peach Belt Conference baseball broadcast this Friday. Ooh, off speed. Drops it in there for a strike. Evens up the count at 1-1. Georgia Southwestern entertains USC Aiken. Again, a 3-day, a little bit different than usual. Usually it's a game on Friday, 2 on Saturday, or 2 on Saturday, 1 on Sunday. But this time it'll be a 3-day, 3-game series. So Friday they play at 5. We'll go on the air on our YouTube channel on the Surge Sports Network. Right before first pitch at 5, ground ball to the shortstop. Off the heel of her glove. Not enough time to regroup and pick it up, so Barlow will be the beneficiary of the first error of the afternoon from Valdosta State. See if that can be parlayed into a run here. Lead 1 out, runner aboard. The pitcher, Ansley Dean. 5, 2, and 1, your start times this weekend for GSW baseball. Again, it'll be the conclusion of Georgia Southwestern's spring break, so Friday night may be a little slim pickings, but I know we've got some groups coming in this weekend, including Southland Academy. I believe that one in there for a strike. Got a youth baseball group, the South Georgia Mariners organization, coming in to watch the guys play on Sunday. Another ground ball to shortstop. This time she's got it. Will they be able to turn 2? On to 1 in time. And so the Blazers are able to regroup from the error and wipe it clean. Inning-ending double play. 6-4-3 to close out the third. Georgia Southwestern is held scoreless in the third, still trailing by a couple of runs. We head to the fourth. Here from Lady Canes Field. We'll be back in a moment on the Surge Sports Network. First baseman Logan Hill opens up the fourth inning for the Blazers. Pulled foul. Hill's a 5'8" sophomore, Lake Park, Georgia native. Transferred in after a year at USC Upstate. Former member of the Peach Belt Conference before USC Upstate went Division I. That was at the same time, if I remember my Peach Belt history. Line drive to center field. Moving to her right and making the grab is Zeller. One up, one down here in the fourth. Upstate and Kennesaw State. North Florida, all former members of the Peach Belt Conference. We're making that jump to Division I. Now Kennesaw just booming with their athletic program. That pitch popped up. I think it will not drop. It'll be Grayson Sanders with a nice defensive effort there in shallow right field. The Lady Canes second baseman with the grab. So 2 quick outs for Dean here in the 4th inning. Shortstop Tana McDaniel. 2 outs in the inning. McDaniel, senior from Brooksville, Georgia, popped it up in the infield. Gibson will wait for it to come down and make the grab. So a very efficient 4th inning for Ansley Dean in the circle. No runs for Valdosta State. They're have still been held to that 1 hit. 2-run home run, the difference in this one so far. 2 runs, 1 hit, 1 error for Valdosta State. No runs, 2 hits, no errors for GSW. Bottom of the 4th inning coming up from Lady Canes Field. You're watching GSW softball on the Surge Sports Network. Third baseman Haley Tierce. To lead off the 4th inning for the Lady Hurricanes. First pitch, a ball to Tierce. That one misses the mark as well. Baseball this weekend, I mentioned USC Aiken in town, Southland Day. Southland Academy will be our guests on Friday. Saturday, Sly County Day. So our visitors just up the road from Sly County. And I mentioned we'll have some youth baseball players in attendance for Sunday's game. So a little action around the ballpark. 5, 2, and 1 the start times from Hurricane Stadium this weekend. 4-pitch walk to Haley Tierce to open up the 4th inning. And a good start for the GSW to get a base runner. It's something that's been hard to come by for both teams here in the second game of our doubleheader. At the plate, first baseman Lauren Kersey. So we'll see if Kersey can warm her bat up here in the nightcap. Kersey was 1 for 3 in. 1 for 3 in the opener. She's got 5 hits in her last 4 games. A couple of hits in the finale at Southern Wesleyan. 2 for 3 in that game. 2 for 2 in the opener against Columbus State. On Saturday. Or excuse me, that was the 9th rather. went 0 for 2 in game 2 against Columbus State, and then had a hit here in the opening game today. So Kersey been one of the few Lady Canes to be swinging very consistent and really warm bat, or at least over the last week and a half. This one a chopper up the middle. Nice diving play with her glove. She flips it in the air. And that's a heck of a defensive play at short. And the awareness to still get the lead runner Tierce for the first out. So good play over there by, good play over there by McDaniel. Blazers shortstop flips it up to Patterson covering the bag. And they get Tierce one away. One out in the inning. Kersey now the runner at first, the batter. Right fielder, Elizabeth Wills. Chopped into the ground, foul, first base side, 0-2. Wills falls behind in the count with one out in the inning. Wills comes into game 2, batting .310. Hasn't had a multi-hit game since February 27th at Montevallo, but she did get a hit. One hit in the Southern Wesleyan doubleheader, one hit in the Columbus State doubleheader, and now a hit in the opening game of today's doubleheader. Let's hope that the one hit per doubleheader streak can perhaps get snapped here by Wills with the runner aboard. In the fourth, 1 ball, 2 strikes, 1 out in the inning. Again, Wills, a 5'8" freshman from Orlando. Bouncing ball to the first baseman. She'll actually apply the tag to Wills for the second out of the inning, but Kersey moves a step closer. She's over at second with 2 outs. And it'll be up to Cassidy Burton to keep this inning alive. The catcher, Cassidy Burton. First pitch to Burton. Fastball in there for a strike. Shadows starting to fall on Lady Canes Field. That one a little farther outside, and not biting is Burton, nor the home plate umpire. Chop foul hitter actually as it bounced back up. Jason Williams, I believe, the home plate umpire in this one. 1 ball and 2 strikes. Regular on the circuit for this area. Softball umpire. 1-2 out in front, pulled foul. Took a little bit off on that pitch, and Burton was way out in front, but managed to have enough control to at least get a piece of it and keep the at-bat alive. Count stays 1-2. The rock back in the pitch, swing and a miss. Had Burton fooled on that one and kind of off balance, tried to swing and still keep the at-bat alive on a good pitch, but got her swinging. So Burton goes down on strikes to end the Lady Canes' 4th inning. Kersey's left standing on second base to wrap it up. Runs hard to come by for GSW here this afternoon. Haven't scored since the first inning of game 1 of our doubleheader. Will now go to the 5th inning here in game 2. Lady Canes trail 2-0. We'll be back in a moment. Leadoff batter for Valdosta State. As you just saw there, Heather Robinson hit by a pitch. Moves down to first. Let's see what we've got here. Looks like a pinch runner. Okay. Pinch running for Valdosta State, number 10, Kaylin Leggett. So Kaylin Leggett will come on to pinch run for Robinson, the designated player who was just hit by a pitch. And stepping in is the number 9 hitter in the lineup, second baseman, Danielle Patterson. Bunt down. It's a good one. Dean will throw over to first. Got to get there quickly, but they do get it. The batter in time. Sacrifice bunt executed well by Patterson. Back to the top of the order now for Valdosta State with 1 out in the inning. Third baseman Jessica Mole. First pitch to Mole, just misses, ball 1. One 0 pitch, up a little high, 2-1 or 2-0 rather. Lady Hurricanes, that pitch upstairs as well, 3-0. Lady Hurricanes resume Peach Belt Conference play this weekend. They'll be traveling to Milledgeville to take on Georgia College on Friday. And then just up the road from Milledgeville, they'll keep trekking up towards the northeast corner of the state where they'll meet up with Augusta on Saturday. So a couple of 4 big Peach Belt Conference games. The Peach Belt Conference schedule just got underway this past weekend. Lady Hurricanes and Columbus State opening it up on Friday. The GSW at this point only with an 0-2 mark despite having, well, now 22 games on their schedule already played. In there for a strike. Center fielder Taylor Hartenbach. The games in Milledgeville will start at 2 o'clock on Friday, and the doubleheader in Augusta on Saturday starts at noon. Links for live stats and video for all those games, where available, are available on our website, gswcanes.com. gswcanes.com. Don't forget, fans, you can also follow us on social media if you've been seeing the different options and addresses pop up. The I fouled off, third base side, out of play. 1 ball, 2 strikes. But if you didn't catch it, or perhaps would rather hear it, even if you don't, here it is. YouTube, Twitter, GSW Athletics. GSW Athletics on YouTube and Twitter, GSW Athletics. Softball also with a Twitter feed, so you can follow the Lady Canes at GSW Softball. Do a search for GSW Softball, and you'll find the softball Twitter account. Facebook and Instagram users can find us at GSW Hurricanes. GSW Hurricanes, all together, all one word for our IDs or handles or whatever you want to call them. Facebook and Instagram, again, is GSW Hurricanes. You can subscribe to our YouTube channel and be alerted of whenever we go live, so you don't have to mark your calendar. You can get that alert that we've gone live and follow in. If you so choose, here on our YouTube station, we'd love to have you as one of our 400-plus subscribers here today. Hard hit ball to right center field. This could be trouble. Back and over the wall. High enough, deep enough, and gone. Another home run. 2 hits in the game for Valdosta State. But 5 runs. The long ball has killed the Lady Hurricanes here today. It was a 2-run shot that was a difference in the opener. And now they've got a 2-run and a 3-run blast. Their only 2 hits of the game have been home runs. Valdosta State out in front now 5-0. Looks like head coach Nikki Levering is going to make a change. We'll see if that's the end of the day for Ansley Dean. The freshman pitched great up until that point, but will have to hand the ball off to, in fact, and she will, as you just saw the exchange made. Mentioned her name earlier. Brittany Childs will be the new Lady Hurricanes pitcher. She steps into the circle, takes her warm-up tosses. We'll be back to give you a little bit of information on Brittany Childs when we return here on the Surge Sports Network. Brandy Morgan, the batter. The home run blast, the 3-run shot that knocked Dean out of the game for the Lady Hurricanes. The 3-run blast coming from center fielder Taylor Hartenbach. This a blast, high fly ball, foul. Just to the left, plenty of distance. That was a long shot from Morgan, but no doubt that it was sailing foul, and in fact pulled well to the left of the foul pole. If you still follow the fence from the foul pole towards the corner, it did go over that part of the fence, yet it was still in the ball. Well, I say in the ballpark, but pulled this one foul. Evens the count up at 2-2. Hartenbach, she did lead the team in home runs coming in, and she'll add to that tally now. Home run number 8 on the season for Hartenbach. RBIs 25, 26, and 27. 2 balls, 2 strikes, 1 out in the inning. Childs delivers, misses outside, 3-2. Counts run full. Brandy Morgan. The long ball hurting the Lady Canes today. The 3 players who have gone yard. Morgan, when she was in game 1, she just drew the walk now from Childs. Robinson in this game, and Hartenbach. Right fielder, Cassie Cornelius. Ground ball to the second baseman. Sanders over to Gibson. She cannot turn two in time. Good hustle down the line. They'll only get the lead runner, but 2 outs in the inning now for Valdosta State. Still a runner at first. First baseman Logan Hill. Pitches misses just outside from Childs, 1-0. Hill is 0 for 1 in game 2 of the doubleheader. She has scored 1 of the 5 runs. Fly ball right field. Oh, Wills drops it. An error on the right fielder. Elizabeth Wills unable to secure the fly ball over in right. And now the runners are on the corners. Well, it won't be of any comfort, but if Valdosta does push across any more runs, they won't be earned. 2 outs in the inning. But Childs can still get out of this without any further damage if she can get the batter, who's going to be the number 6 hitter in the lineup. Now batting for Valdosta State, the catcher, Lacey Crandall. So they'll have a quick meeting and go back to their respective positions as the home plate umpire breaks things up. Discussion is over. 2 outs in the inning. Valdosta State threatening to add to their lead. They've already got 3 runs in the inning. 5-0 their lead, as you can see on your screen. In there for a strike from Childs. So Brittany Childs, I mentioned that we'd give you a little bit of a rundown on her information coming into play today. Brittany Childs making her 10th appearance. She has started 7 games this season, making her 10th appearance, however. 34 innings pitched, 45 hits, 31 earned runs, 16 walks, 24 strikeouts, a 2-4 record, and a 6.38 ERA. So there's a little bit of information on Childs. Misses on the 1-2 offering. Count evens up at 2-2. Reaches is for this one. Line drive to Kersey for the final out. Quick glove and the play made at first base to end the inning. So the error in right field does not come back to haunt the Lady Canes, but some damage has been done. Blazers add to their lead with a 3-run home run. 5-0 the score now. Only the last part of the Child stat line I didn't give you was that opponents are batting .324 against her, but she does good work to get out of that with any further damage in relief. GSW has been struggling at the plate all day. Been held in check by Valdosta State pitching. They'll have to come alive here. Now they've got some work to do. 5-0. They both have both teams with 2 hits in the game, but the run column heavily in favor of the visitors. 5-0. We'll be back in a moment here on the Surge Sports Network. Gibson with the one hopper over to third for the first out of the inning. Pitcher Brittany Childs. That one a little bit low, outer edge of the plate. Ball one. In on the hands, foul. Pulled foul. To even the count up at 1-1. Both teams with 2 hits in the game. Both teams with 1 error in the game. But Valdosta State with a comfortable lead here in the bottom of the 5th inning. Inside pitch misses 2-1. Count evened up at 2-2. That one outside, Sales outside, full count to Childs. Columbus State and Georgia College, again, just getting started in Peach Belt Conference play. Both are 2-0 in PBC. That one takes one hop, finds its way to the shortstop, who throws on to first base for the second out of the inning. So McDaniel makes the play at short. 2 outs in the inning. Lady Hurricanes will bring up their number 9 hitter in the lineup with 2 away. Center fielder Chloe Ziller. Zeller oh for 1 here in the nightcap. Two-0 count. Pulled foul. First baseman just gets the smothers it with the reach and has time to get back to the bag to take the unassisted out, put out for the final out of the inning. So a good piece of hitting by Zeller. Nice, even better play at first base defensively to end the inning. No runs for Georgia Southwestern in the 5th. 6th inning coming up. Valdosta State leads 5-0. We are tuned in to GSW baseball. Excuse me. GSW softball. There, we'll get it straight as we're closing in on the end of this one. GSW softball on the Surge Sports Network. We'll be back in a moment. Shortstop Tana McDaniel with the hit. Hangs up just long enough to cause a little grief in the Lady Canes infield. Tierce makes the first run at it, can't get to it. Shannon Gibson backhands it, but it's too late. Hung up in the air too long, and it's a infield single for McDaniel. Third hit of the ball game for Valdosta State. And they're at the number 8 hitter in the lineup. Popped up, first pitch swinging, that was Robinson. Zeller has it in shallow center field for the first out of the inning. So one away, runner at first base for the Blazers. Second baseman Daniel Patterson. Patterson. Oh for 1. Well, I said Columbus State, Georgia College 2-0 in Peach Belt Conference play. Columbus State 14-7 overall. Georgia College 13-9. Lander right behind our leaders, having only dropped one game. They're 3-1. Played a couple extra. 3-1 for Lander, 1-1 for Young Harris, 3-3. Flagler's the team with the most games under their belt here early in the Peach Belt Conference portion of the season. 3-3 for Flagler, 1-1 for Augustus and Aiken. Both have split. Ground ball to the first baseman, Kersey. She'll beat her to the bag and set down Patterson by a half a step for the second out of the inning. Francis Marigan's 1-3. North Georgia 26-1 overall. They have yet to play a Peach Belt Conference game. Pembroke's 0-2. UNC Pembroke 0-2. And GSW's 0-2. Back to the top of the lineup for Valdosta State with 2 away here in the 6th. Pitch from Childs. Misses the mark. Third baseman, Jessica Mole. I mentioned North Georgia overall, 26-1. Be favorites to win the Peach Belt Conference. Lander got off to a good start through their non-conference portion, 15-7. Columbus State with the wins against GSW up there, back to 14-7 overall. Some of the best winning percentages at this point in the season overall anyway. Our next home broadcast, off-speed pitch in there for a strike, 1-2. Mole in this game is 0 for 1. Slaps this one to Kersey, who's unable to hang on to it. It bounces straight up into the air, and Grayson Sanders will wait on the bag for it to come down and make the play. So Sanders ultimately gets the final put out. Another fortuitous bounce for the Lady Hurricanes defensively. Comes down in Sanders' hands, and she makes the final out of the inning. So Valdosta State is held scoreless in the 6th. GSW will look to close the gap. They got work to do. 5 runs, 3 hits, 1 error for Valdosta State. GSW no runs, 2 hits, 1 error. When we return, bottom of the 6th inning coming up from Lady Canes Field here on the Surge Sports Network. Well, the Lady Canes are going to make a run here and try to put a dent in this 5-run deficit. Now's a good time to do it. They're at the top of the batting order. Michaela Barlow steps in. Barlow 1 for 2. This will make her 2 for 3. Line drive to the opposite field. Base hit for Barlow. Second hit of the ball game. And she'll get things started for the Lady Canes here in the 6th. Good work. Runner aboard now. Designated player, Ansley Dean. Ansley Dean started off the game as the Lady Canes starting pitcher and swap spots in the defensively for GSW when she moved to DP, and Brittany Childs came in to pitch. Ansley Dean 0 for 1 in the ball game. And the Lady Hurricanes couldn't get much more even. I mean, I know their record almost even at 10 and 12. Overall, the score heading into this game, total run production 109 to 107. So through all of that, through 22 games, only a 2-run difference between them and their opponents. The margin a little bit stiffer here in this one, however. But the first 2 runners are aboard. A walk drawn by Dean. And Haley Tier steps in. Third baseman, Haley Tierce. Tierce for her stat to come through. First pitch in there for a strike. Got a good look at a fastball that just makes its way past Tierce. Runners at first and second. 0-1 pitch in on the hands, pulled foul. On the dirt in the third base side. Tierce is 0 for 1 in the ball game. She's been drawing some walks throughout the doubleheader. That was a good pitch, but a little outside. Good spot, 1 and 2. Lady Hurricanes' best innings for production this season have been the 4th and the 5th. This one played well. They're going to tag up. The throw will be cut off, and they'll let Barlow scurry over to third. So well played. They were shading Tierce a little bit to that side towards center field, and that, in fact, is where the shot to right went. And a good play. So 1 out in the inning. Head coach Thomas Macera will come out into the circle and talk to his defense. We'll see if any changes will be made. Probably not. They'll let her go. She's got a shutout rolling. We'll be back in a moment to resume play here from Lady Canes Field. Cleanup batter Lauren Kersey actually gets the sign to try to lay a bunt down, but it goes into the dirt and foul on the first pitch of the at-bat. So runners are at the corners. fourth and fifth inning, as I mentioned, have been the money-making innings for the Lady Canes offensively. We're now moving into the sixth, and it dwindles down from there. The seventh inning is their lowest output of an inning in an inning over the course of the season. But some of those games, whether they've been 10-run or mercy ruled or have run ruled their opponents, a couple of those games haven't even got to the seventh inning, so that stat, I guess, could be a little bit misleading. But as I mentioned, the overall stat's not. Runs scored by opponents 109, runs scored by GSW 107. Very even. Ground ball takes a hop over the glove of the diving shortstop and into left field. Quickly in. They're going to hold the runner at third, but a good piece of hitting by the red-hot Lauren Kersey, and she's got herself a double into the gap in left field. That ground ball kicked up at the last minute over the top of the glove of the diving shortstop for Valdosta State. Not much McDaniel could do on that one. And GSW's on the board. The run here in the sixth. Right fielder Elizabeth Wills. Runners at second and third. First pitch swinging a ground ball through the hole on the right side. One run is in. They'll hold the runner at third. Wills for second will be in time. Good piece of heads-up base running. The play close at second, but she beats the throw. Second and third for the Lady Hurricanes, and 2 runs in now in the ball game. Good piece of hitting by Wills and a heads-up move as the throw comes all the way to home plate. And Coach Macera has seen enough. He is going to make a pitching change. We'll get you the information a little bit about the relief pitcher, as Carter can do nothing but hand the ball off and wait to see how this one turns out. We'll be back in a moment. Pitching change for Valdosta State here in the bottom of the sixth. Relief pitcher for the Blazers is Avery Lamb. First pitch off the mark to Cassidy Burton. Avery Lamb right in the mix of those 2 ERAs, 2-point fill-in-the-blank ERAs on the pitching staff. She's the ace out of the bullpen. She's the closer. 13 appearances. This now number 14. Only 3 starts to her credit, so her 14th appearance of the season. She's got 1 save, 32 2/3 innings, 36 hits, 12 earned runs, popped up, foul territory. Third baseman's got it for the second out of the inning. Avery Lamb, opponents are batting .283 against her. She has hit 8 batters, which is by far the most on the team, a 5-1 record, and a 2.57 ERA. That one just misses. A left-handed pitcher for the Blazers, now facing shortstop Shannon Gibson. In on the hands, slow ground ball. Third baseman has it. Throw is perfect, and the inning is over. But Georgia Southwestern creeps back into this one a little bit. 6 innings complete, game 2 of our doubleheader. Valdosta State with a 5-2 lead We'll be back for the 7th inning from Lady Canes Field in just a moment. A little bit more of information on Lamb. I gave you her stats, but just so you know, Avery, a 5'4" sophomore. Warner Robins, Georgia. Veterans High School. Well, there you go. We'll be back in a moment for the 7th inning. Thanks for hanging with us here on the Surge Sports Network. Taylor Hartenbach, the center fielder for Valdosta State, to lead off the 7th. Hartenbach 1 for 2, but that one hit a big one. 3-run blast in the 5th. That's proving to be the difference so far in this game, as the Lady Canes have cut the lead from 5 runs to 3. Heading to the 7th, 2 balls and a strike to Hartenbach. That one in there, called strike, evens up the count at 2-2. Lady Hurricanes on the road again. You won't get your next home broadcast on the Surge Sports Network until March 20th. Patience reaches that one, and one hops it into right field. A base hit for Hartenbach, her 2nd hit of the game. The Blazers' 4th hit in the contest. Left fielder Brandy Morgan. Wind blowing out to center field. Straight away center field. First pitch outside and high. That pitch low. 2-0. Ball 3, snap throw down to first. Pretty good throw from Burton as far as in place there. Ended up right at the first baseman's glove, who really just didn't even have to apply a tag. It was right there, but not in time. Runner back safely on the slide back into first. Well, a 4-pitch walk Four pitch walk to Morgan, rather. Runners at first and second. Nobody out in the inning. And Childs is about to make her way through the meat of the order here for Valdosta State. The cleanup hitter is at the plate. Right fielder, Cassie Cornelius. Cornelius is 0 for 3 here in the nightcap. That pitch just misses. Ball 1. Childs' stat line in relief here, an inning and 2/3 now. Yet to strike out a batter, but she has walked 2. This one in the dirt is going to get past Burton. Both runners advance. Cornelius had actually squared around a bunt. The umpires converse to see if Cornelius and the Blazers saying she was hit by the pitch, but will not be the case. So first base will remain empty, but the runners are still able to advance on the wild pitch. Takes a little bit off of that one and finds the mark right down the middle of the zone. To get a strike on the board. 2 balls, 1 strike. Cornelius at the plate. The Blazers right fielder. Foul evens the count up at 2-2. Two balls and 2 strikes. Childs will rock back and pitch. Takes a little off of this one. Cornelius, a good bit of hitting just to stay alive. Yeah, she was a little bit fooled on the pitch, but had enough patience to at least hold up the swing and get a little piece of the ball. Keep the at-bat alive. This one pulled foul as well. Chop to third. Chop to the third base coach and third base coach's box. Little bobble from Coach Massera, but hey, he doesn't have a glove on. And he still kept it in front of him to make the toss back in to Childs. 2 balls, 2 strikes. Another one. This one a little to his left. Coach isn't going to go reach for that one. He'll let it hit the fence and roll down into the corner and bounce back over to Barlow. This at-bat continues. 2 balls, 2 strikes, yet and she'll get her on the inside corner. Takes that one looking. Strike 3. First strikeout, rather, for Brittany Childs in relief over her now official 2 innings of pitching. 1 out, however, here in the 7th for Valdosta State with the runners on 2nd and 3rd. So 1 strike down, 1 out, rather, that he can check off, but still got 2 more to go. The batter's going to be the first baseman, Logan Hill. At the plate is the first baseman, Logan Hill. Hill is 0 for 2 in the nightcap. Ground ball to Gibson, who looks the runner back at third and has time to throw over to first for the second out of the inning. Well, Childs has forced 2 straight outs from the Valdosta State batters. Catcher Lacey Crandall. Crandall will try to capitalize on the early base runners for Valdosta State in the inning, but she's 0 for 2 in the game. So bounces into home plate or short hops into Burton's glove. Ball 1. One-oh offering, pulled foul. And the line drive that loops over the head of the third base coach's box. Stays within the ballpark, and they'll get the ball back to Childs for her 1-1 delivery. Line drive, back up the middle, 1 run in. They'll send the second. Play at the plate's going to get cut off by Kersey. And 2 runs are in, 2 more runs are in to extend the Valdosta State lead back to 5. 7-2 the score. And Valdosta State has now finally matched GSW in the hit column. Both sides with 5. 2-run hit, 2-run single there for Crandall. We'll get to the number 7 hitter in the lineup now. Wait on this first pitch. High and outside from Childs. Shortstop, Tana McDaniel. McDaniel 1 for 3 in game number 2. Fly ball, left center field. It's going to drop between the 3 defenders, in for a base hit. Kind of in the Bermuda Triangle out there as it dropped in between the 3 Lady Cane defenders, fielders, for a base hit. Hit number 6 for Valdosta State. Got a couple hits this game already, or excuse me, this inning, to stretch their lead and push across the 2 runs that they already have in the frame. Runners are at first and second with 2 outs. The number 8 hitter in the lineup, designated player Heather Robinson. Robinson is 1 for 2 with a 2-run home run in this game. Came back in the second inning. High fly ball, left field, fair territory, right on the line, or a step into fair territory, shallow left. Barlow makes the grab to end the inning. Well, Valdosta State answered GSW's 2 runs with 2 runs of their own and pushed their lead back to 5. 7-2 in favor of the Blazers. Game 2 of our doubleheader. GSW coming up bottom of the 7th when we return here on the Surge Sports Network. Brittany Childs. Leading off the 7th inning for Georgia Southwestern. First pitch off the mark, second pitch, swing and a miss. Childs is 0 for 2. She's already struck out once here in game number 2. One ball, 2 strikes. That one outside, 2-2. Just a little bit off the black. 3-2. You could tell the shortstop McDaniel really wanted that one. A ground ball, stays in, hugs the line, and goes straight down into the, well, not to the corner because it's cut off by Morgan. But that ground ball hugged the line and never veered. Got down into the corner. Again, not the corner. Cut off by Morgan. But a base hit for Childs nonetheless to open up the 7th inning. And that'll draw a quick visit inside the circle. Pinch runner coming on for the Lady Hurricanes over at first base. We'll announce that for the crowd. We'll be back in a moment. Kaylin Church, pinch running for first pitch, swinging. Third baseman reaches for it, not going to get there in time as the shortstop's backing up the play. Base hit. So the third baseman a little bit, looks like she's going to get some sunglasses, that setting sun. Hit error on the scoreboard. She got scared on the scoreboard. So they'll give her a pair of shades over at third base. Again, that setting sun, pretty tough. The scoreboard has an error, but we'll give that a base hit. As she was playing in and kind of had to make the quick play. Had a chance to get a glove on it, but Chloe able to beat it out. So back-to-back singles has put the Lady Hurricanes in a position to at least threaten to make a move on that 5-run deficit. Runners are at first and second. The Lady Canes are back to the top of the order. Runners on first and second. 3-1 pitch to Barlow. Swing and a miss. 3-2. The count's full. Nobody out yet in the inning. Avery Lamb in relief of the starting pitcher here in game number 2. The starter was Catherine Carter. And the bases are loaded as she draws. Draws the walk, getting into some dangerous territory here. At the plate, Ansley Dean. So Dean, who is the Lady Hurricanes starting pitcher, has slid into the DP role. Dean is 0 for 1. Only one registered at bat in the ball game. Bases full of Lady Hurricanes with nobody out in the 7th inning. That one little off the plate outside. Dean entered the doubleheader with a 208 batting average. I could use a big hit right now. That one a little up in the zone, 2-1. Dean only has 1 RBI, or had 1 RBI when the day started. Foul tip. Count evens up at 2-2. Swing and a miss, and Dean will go down. She had a sacrifice bunt in the first. That was one of her at-bats. Lady Hurricanes hoping to get something from Tears. She's had a couple of walks today as well. Third baseman Haley Tears. 1 out in the inning. Pulled foul. Tears 0 for 1 in this game. Her only out registered out of the game was a ground out in the first inning. Ground ball to the right side. Second baseman has it. They'll allow 1 run to score. So an RBI for Tears, but a ground out, and more importantly for Valdosta State, they're 1 out closer. Only 1 out away from getting the sweep against the Lady Hurricanes. At the plate, first baseman Lauren Kersey. Lady Canes with a hot hitting Lauren Kersey up. Fooled a little bit on that one as it high and its side goes after it for swing and a miss, strike 1. 7-3. Lady Hurricanes do manage to push across 1 run on that ground out, and they do have runners at second and third. High, ball 1. The tying run is on deck for the Lady Hurricanes, but they've got a lot of work to do to get to that point. But we'll see what Kersey can do here to see if she can at least keep the game going. This probably will end it, though. Second baseman on to first, and that, in fact, will complete the sweep for Valdosta State. So Georgia Southwestern does score a run in the 7th inning, but they'll come up short in their effort to rally for a split. Valdosta State completes the doubleheader sweep, 7-3, the final in game number 2. Quick look at the final line score. Valdosta State 7 runs, 6 hits, 1 error in the ball game. Georgia Southwestern 3 runs, 7 hits, 1 error as well. Valdosta State a 2-run shot in the 2nd, a 3-run home run in the 5th, and they scored 2 more in the 7th to pull away from the Lady Hurricanes and get to their 7-run total. Georgia Southwestern scored all of their runs late. They had 2 runs in the 6th, a run in the 7th, but it wasn't enough. 7-3 your final score in the ball game, game 2 of our doubleheader. With the win, Valdosta State will improve to 19-7 overall. Georgia Southwestern falls to 10-13. The Lady Hurricanes have lost 5 in a row and will look to snap that streak when they travel to Georgia College this weekend. Again, Georgia College and Augusta, 4 games this weekend, all on the road, before returning home for a non-conference game against Albany State on March 20th, 1 week from today. So that'll be when we'll have our next broadcast. Again, our next broadcast here, softball-wise anyway, next broadcast of Georgia Southwestern softball on our YouTube channel. And on the Surge Sports Network will come 1 week from today. Tuesday, March 20th, when Albany State comes to town for a non-conference set. 3 o'clock the start time, 3 o'clock just like it was today. Next Tuesday, these teams met earlier in the season at the end of February, and Georgia Southwestern won both games in Albany, 13-0 and 2-1. So we'll hopefully can match that when the Golden Rams come to town again 1 week from today. Our next broadcast on the Surge Sports Network will be Friday night, GSW baseball against USC Aiken. Thanks for tuning in. The winning pitcher will be Carter. With the win, Catherine Carter will improve to 6-2 this season. Taking the loss, Ansley Dean for the Lady Hurricanes. She'll fall to 0-4. We appreciate you tuning in this evening. We hope you enjoyed the broadcast. Don't forget, we'll catch Coach Levering and one of our Lady Hurricanes for a little a little post-game wrap-up here. Post-game show on the Surge Sports Network will go live here in just a few moments after I send it off the air from our broadcast of today's ball game. So we'll go off the air for a few minutes, and we will come back for our post-game show live here on the Surge Sports Network. Thanks for tuning in. Have a great rest of the week, and we'll hope to catch up with you soon. You've been watching GSW Baseball on the Surge Sports Network.